Let my whiteness show off.
Oh my God. Come on, Kia.
Come on. Now she wants to come in here and shake her head like,
Kia, come on now.
It is so great to see NXT go back to music like this. Welcome to Top Rope Spoilers, subsidiary of On the Ring Apron. I'm Steve.
I'm Kia.
Reluctantly. Alyssa running the camera back there. It's Mania weekend. First of all, I'm so sorry. Alyssa, say hi.
Hey, y'all.
There we go. You can tell we're from the South, right?
Shut
White guy
up.
can't dance. Hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all.
But this is the first part of Wrestlemania weekend. Is everybody excited so far? Hopefully so.
Yeah.
We're seeing folks, social media posts of getting on airplanes and
Period.
everything else. People waited till the last minute to pack. We're in that group too, so
Yes,
don't
we
worry.
are.
But we will be on.
Calm down.
We'll be on our way to LA starting tomorrow morning. So hey, if you see us, look out for us. We don't bite unless you want us to. But enough about
dear
that. As we said, if you'll take a step to your left or right, excuse me. Thank you to Turnstile for the song Blackout. This is not the first time Turnstile has had an NXT theme song, but that was one of the more rockin' ones. I'm really glad to see him go back to that, and then I can show off my poor dancing skills.
Woo.
Hey, if you want to see a good one, go back to SummerSlam 2 years ago.
Oh, dear Lord.
Cardi B or
Yeah.
out there, oh my Lord, that was not one of my better moments, but...
We'll
It is what
digress.
it is. I'm sure Alyssa loved it. I know Kia did as well. But either way, this is our first of what's ultimately going to be 2 Top Rope spoilers for this week. Of course, we have Stand and Deliver, and then obviously WrestleMania. This will bring a conclusion to Season 3. And as you see here from our board, we're really, really neck and neck with I think there's 20 or 21 matches on the card total over this weekend. So there's still a lot of points to pick up here. The OTRAs still leading us with 75. I'm so sorry, I've got the hiccups. 75.
He said he was going to have them.
In
I said
10
it
minutes.
before we went on the air.
In
I said it
10 minutes.
Alyssa taking the lead here with 72. I've got 71. Key at 66. Like I said, a lot of picks still available out there. A lot of points. WrestleMania is technically a double because not only is it the last one of 3, it's also the start of Season 4. The community page on YouTube is live, and also we will be making our official TikTok show debuts.
Woot,
the ladies have something special for y'all later on this week, so be on the lookout. If you haven't followed our TikTok, be sure to do so. At On the Ring Apron, also at Cloaker Domino. If you like bad dad jokes, that's gonna be my show. That's gonna be my forte there, and we just look silly, and you can watch Alyssa laugh.
Oh, God.
She's just embarrassed to be seen with us.
Dear God.
But let's move into our first match, Alyssa.
Jesus.
Let everybody throw their 2 cents in here. But we will begin with what has become a bitter rivalry between different teaching styles. And there's going to be a little more control over this than meets the eye, as we will have an 8-person tag team match, likely to open Stand and Deliver. But it will be the team of Chase U.
Chase U. Do.
Exactly. Also, that is Chase, Duke Hudson, and Thea Yale. Also teaming with former 2-time UK champion Tyler Bate, who has really prided himself in the Chase U ways. They will battle against Schism, who has been going against them the entire time. Of course, led by Joe Gacy. It will also be Ava Rain's official debut with WWE and NXT, so we'll see what The Rock's daughter has in store for us.
Woot woot.
See if she faces the same trials and tribulations that Charlotte's had to deal with her entire career. If you didn't see her Superstar Sunday, go back and watch that. It was fantastic.
It was real good.
But Kia, take the wheel on this one. We know you wear the Chase U shirt proud, but what are your thoughts going into this one?
I'm trying to figure out how you can open your mouth to literally hand over your school in a wrestling match, knowing that Chase is proud of that school and what he's made and who he's become and all the students in it and everything else. My thing is, I feel like, honestly, Duke Hudson could have kept his mouth closed on that.
He could have, but he didn't, and
now here's where we are with the situation. It's great to see. What's his name?
Tyler Bate.
Tyler Bates.
Big strong boy.
Legs. It's nice to see the legs. Joining up with Chase U, he has taken the Chase U ways. He has helped Thea Hell, if I get it correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in actually channeling her inner peace and sanctum or whatever. And Chase U, or Mr. Chase over here, has literally, again, prided himself on his school and everything that his school is about. Now, Schism, again, I find them to be weird, and they kind of creep me out a little bit, especially this smiling mug right here.
Joe Gacy.
But other than that, I'm interested to see how it's going to go. I'm interested to see the match and what's going to happen, so forth and so on.
As you can see, I was struggling over here.
I know.
Trying to
I'm
find
just
the
like,
mice, the mouse
I'm like,
on
oh
here.
dear Lord.
I'm like, I cannot get this countdown clock to start. It works so many times in presentation. Alyssa, take the wheel.
I have to piggyback off what Kia said, especially when it comes to Duke Hudson. Not you opening your mouth on my school. What, are you trying to get beat up? Let's have a chat. Come on. BFF. R.
She was lining up for something there. I'm not sure where.
Well,
it was heading,
I couldn't say be for real,
There you
but you know,
because we have children who
this
watch
is a
the
family
show. Thank you so
show.
much. It's a PG show. Unless
So,
I'm
yeah.
dancing, then my God, turn off.
please, Carisha, please. I mean, dear God, I'm just playing. No, but no, not you gonna open your mouth on my school. Don't put nothing on the line that don't belong to you.
Right.
What do you mean? So all I know is he better be in there whooping some tail and representing well. That's all I know. Anyway, when it goes over to Schism, check. All I'm saying is his smile makes me uncomfortable, okay? Everybody in there made my skin crawl just a little bit. I don't know. All my stinks be going off. I ain't got time to play with y'all. And
Alrighty.
I'm excited. I'm really excited to see how Tyler Bate meshes in with Chase U. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Y'all
That's all I got
notice-
to say.
Y'all notice everyone on this side is smiling except
Yup.
for Chase.
Cause this is serious business.
And everybody on this side is smiling like Joe
Nobody.
Gacy
well,
and Ava Reigns.
No,
except
they're
for-
smiling. Don't let the faces confuse you. They're smiling. They're smiling on the inside.
Okay.
You guys both hit the nail on the head in Duke Hudson. The one issue that Duke's had since he joined up with Chase U is that they're not sure if he's truly buying into the school, if he's buying into the system. And the problem with that is you're having a hard time being believed, obviously, by members of Schism and the rest of the NXT universe. But then even when your own classmate, colleagues, whatever you want to call them, when even they don't believe that you're truly here for the right reasons or that you believe in everything, it's very difficult to, have that. So he puts the school on the line. And see, I'm going to play devil's advocate here because I kind of see it from the other perspective. He's like, you want me to show how much I care about this school? I will volunteer it on the line because I know we can beat you. I know we can win this.
That's real
even though
confidence
Schism
right
has
there.
been beating them at every turn. In fact, the only person who has not wrestled up to this point is Ava Reign, and we'll get an opportunity to see it. We all know the capabilities that people like Andre Chase, Duke Hudson, Tyler Bate, Joe Gacy, and of course, the formerly known as the Grizzled Young Vets, what they all can bring to the table. I honestly feel like it's the ladies in this match that are going to ultimately be the deciders because you have inexperience on both sides. Thea Hale is sitting there with one NXT win in over a year against Ava Reign making her debut, and obviously she comes from a great lineage, but at the same time she has not competed in a ring yet. So Hale, by the skin of the end of her hair over there, has a bit of a experience advantage, but it's not much. So, I feel like, the three sets of men on each side are going to be able to neutralize each other. Mm-hmm. I think the women will ultimately be the ones who really push the envelope on this and will ultimately decide things. Because we started late, we're going to make sure we get our picks in here before we hit the zero. So, Alyssa, you're in the lead, so actually that means you start things off, and I'll be next because I'm behind you. So, where are you leaning on this one?
For this one, I think I'm going to have to go with, a normal thing that we normally go with. I feel like if you're getting the victories up to the match, then you're more than likely going to lose. So, for my pick for this match, I'm going to go with Chase U. I can't see Schism running that.
And I definitely see things from that perspective. I do think you've got an opportunity to really bring kind of a dark side to,
That's
to
true.
possibly, what would be, I guess, Schism U at that point. bringing like a dark type of mind. You're adding 4 new names because remember, not only do they take over the school, but also the 4 members of Chase U have to start working for Schism at that point, which basically doubles their stable in size.
I'm so sorry now.
So it opens up a new door, but especially if this opens the show, I think you need to get that crowd off to a rocket start. I like Chase U in this one as well. I do think that it's going over in NXT, and it needs to keep working.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull for Chase U, honestly. I'm a huge fan, and I wear the shirt proud, like Steven said. Also, having Tyler Bates on your side, that's good for business.
Absolutely.
So Tyler Bates has been here, done that, has been around, and I feel like he's going to bring the experience factor to this team of what they need. So Chase U.
All right. So Chase U across the board. For those of you who have watched our shows before, we normally would also throw where the OTRA's in, but no help this time for the OTRAs. You guys are ahead. You get to hear our picks, but again, your picks go live when the bell rings. But no previews this time around. You're going to have to, if you're going to finish us off in Season 3, you're going to have to do it on your own. So best of luck to you. But let's move in here. I'm going to shift in and let Alyssa step into the camera here, and we'll rotate around like we normally do. Let me get the next match set up here real quick. There we go. And you guys will get the NXT Tag Team Championships, which is that first belt sitting over there, so if somebody wants to snag that. But it will be a triple threat match for the NXT Tag Team titles. As, I guess, the new Tag Team champs, Gallus Boys on top, will defend their championships against both the Creed brothers and the team of Tony D'Angelo and Stax Lorenzo. You are looking at a situation that brought itself about because Gallus brought the 2 of them in their bar. They all got drunk and decided, you know what, you're all worthy of a tag team title shot. If you guys can drink us under the pool table, you are deserving of a shot at the tag team titles. These have been your 3 best teams, probably with Briggs and Jensen also being mixed in there as well, who got a shot to get in last night on NXT and dropped the ball due to Kiana James and Fallon Henley's interference. But 2 former teams that are champs and 1 team that looks like it's got all the pieces together to be champs. So let's roll with it. Alyssa, we'll let you start things off on this one.
Okay. I know one of my favorites to watch in here is... Sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Is the Creed brothers. I like how they have the chemistry. I like how they feed off of each other when it comes to, like, wrestling and stuff. They usually have each other's back pretty well. So, yeah, I like them. Gallus, they scare me a little bit. His chest hair just really makes me fall. Triggered. Hashtag triggered. Okay? But now, I feel like he's looking at me talking shit.
Even his vignette is angry with your choices.
I told y'all keep me off camera. That's all I'm saying. But no, they be in here. Everything I've seen, they look behind. They go in there, they handle their business, they get on, and I like that. These 2, I did not really see them as like a good tag team until last night. Like when we were watching them against Briggs and Jensen, I was like, oh, they can actually fight. Like, I don't mean to be like that, but I was like, oh, they actually.
What are you saying? Are you saying I'm a funny guy? I'm a clown.
He's a clown.
He's a clown. Is that what you're saying?
But yeah, like last night they finally clicked as a team for me. I was like, okay, cool. That's all I gotta say. I have nothing else.
Yeah, go for it.
Bite me.
Okay.
Hang on, let's get a zoom into these faces.
So, again, piggybacking off what you said, Alyssa, they have that chemistry. They're brothers. They literally have come up together. They've wrestled together. They've actually pushed each other to the limits to make sure they're prepared for other teams.
I was about to say, you've seen them go to bat for each other.
They just seem to work, and I love the chemistry. I love the brotherhood. I love the wrestling mentality. And if one is down, the other one's there to pick the other one up, and vice versa.
I like that. Great team.
The Gallus boys, I don't know why it took so long for them to win the tag team titles.
Honestly.
But it looks great. Show off them plates.
But I feel like...
Keep chatting.
I feel like at this present moment in time, they do come in. I feel like they do what the Southern Revival used to do. And they come in, they whoop your butt, and then they leave. It's just as simple as that. They come in, do what they need to do, and leave. There's no, I'm not sticking around. I'm not doing that. I'm gone. We're done.
We're going back to shoot pool.
Yeah, and
we got stuff to do.
And as far as Stacks and D'Angelo, I feel like it did take some time for them to actually click, like Alyssa said. She saw it last night. I just feel like at this point, I feel like they're on even footing, like even ground. At this point, I feel like D'Angelo has been the boss of Stacks, but now it's just like they're right here.
The underboss.
But the fact is, they're clicking together, they work together, and it makes sense for them to stay together. Now, are they going to win? I don't know. Are they going to win? Oh, no.
We'll find out here in about a minute.
I just feel like this right here is a good tag team, and honestly, I do not want to see them stripped of the titles because they have been doing what they need to do.
So a possible spoiler pick here in a minute. Like I said earlier, these are the three teams that have been carrying your NXT for the last 6 to 7 months, really since the UK, entrance of the good UK teams after the disbanding of the UK brand. And I agree, it took a while for Gallus to finally get an opportunity to be, the big dogs here in NXT. They obviously won gold and were blessed with having the gold at the time that the pandemic happened out in the UK. So you got a 300+ day title reign, and well deserving. And you also have to think Gallus is doing this with a partner missing, because usually you've got Joe's brother Mark that normally is also there, that's been injured and is definitely cheering for his boys. But Gallus proving that, you can go without the third member, a la New Day without necessarily Big E.
Yeah.
You managed to make it work. Hopefully his recovery is soon, and we're looking forward to seeing him again. But we all know the Creed brothers and Gallus really have that same mindset of, hey, look, bring on all comers. And obviously the Don and the Underboss are not against a good fight either. Triple threat rules means also no disqualifications and no countouts. You got to have a winner. But it also, of course, means Gallus no longer has that champion's advantage. So with about 30 seconds left, I'll throw, I'm up first on this one. It's Gallus boys staying on top. To me, I think this is supposed to represent the best that your tag team division has shown you in the last year, and I think it's also kind of giving you a preview of the future. Honestly, I see a Creed Brothers call up. I think we're getting ready to see them on the main roster, and I think D'Angelo and Stacks are close. But Gallus boys staying on top. Shifting to Kia.
I like all three teams. I'm not gonna lie. They have been your front three runners outside of Briggs and Jensen when it comes to tag teams. I don't see them losing this title. I don't see them losing the NXT tag title. Like I said, they come in, they do what they need to do, and then they get the hell on. So, with that being said, I don't see them being stripped of it. That's my pick.
Gallus boys still?
Boys.
Alyssa?
I don't think they're ready yet. I think, if anything, they would get called up and...
Really? You think D'Angelo and Stacks are getting called? Okay.
Yeah, I think they'll be called up before they lose to them. I like Gallus here too.
So, staying the status quo here.
Yeah, sorry, gotta stick to what I know.
All right, well, 2 picks, and we're united across both picks so far. I wonder if the OTRAs will decide to go with a similar path here. I'm going to shift here with Kia here, so I'll let you take over the wheel here, and moving into the third of what is actually a rare 7-match card on NXT. Normally there's 6, but we'll shift over here.
Oh,
and we get the women's tag team title match. Move my big head out of the way here, so I'll let you grab that one back there. But this is for the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. And I'm just going to go with here a pair of odd couples on this one.
Yes, it is.
Because it's certainly, I don't think you need to use the word odd, maybe a bit too lenient on this team of Alba, Fyre, and Isla's Dawn, the challengers. But Fallon, Henley, Kiana, James, definitely not on the same page either, yet they found a way to still win tag team gold, knocking off the longest reigning tag team women's champions of all time in Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. So somehow when they're in the ring, they find a way to make it work. But outside the ring, they can't seem to get on the same page about anything. Meanwhile, two women who definitely were never on the same page about anything, now all of a sudden you can't split the two.
Yeah.
So these two teams have done a complete 180 on each other in the last, let's say 2 months. And now they'll go head to head with the women's tag gold on the line. Alyssa, we'll let you start things off.
Do you even want to try to fathom what's going on in these heads?
Not really. Let's be for real. I don't know what these two got going on. You know, like, tell them what you got going on, man. I ain't got time to play with you. Be honest, be truthful, do what you need to do. And girl, if she ain't gonna do it, bust her out. Thank you and good night. In the case closed. Y'all ain't gonna stay the tag champs forever no way, so it don't matter. But yeah, these two, I feel like that's like opposites attract type junk. Cause you know, a minute ago, last time I checked, these two just couldn't stand each other. She was trying to spit in her face, climbing ladders, all that. I'm like, okay, could it be me? But we digress. But now these two are just like in a little.
Watch me put the hex on you.
Exactly.
Halloween that shit.
I don't know what's going on. So yeah, I just feel like these two coming together gives them a good chance to go ahead and just take care of this, and then she need to get busted out. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it almost happened on Tuesday because you saw that Fallon was like, I'm sorry, I know this isn't a good time, Brooks, but this needs to happen. And Fallon, who looked like she was going to have the final laugh on Kiana, once again, a step ahead. Smart. She got all those letters behind her name. You know, she likes to show them off. Was a step ahead. But you've hit the nail on the head. I mean, it's like these pairings they don't seem to make a ton of sense, and yet when they hit the ring, it works. Yeah. We all know what Isla Dawn and Alba Fyre are capable. Alba, of course, her very long reign as Kaylee Ray in the UK. Again, just like Gallus, a beneficiary of the pandemic in terms of holding the championship. Yeah. But Isla's no slouch either, and Isla was the person who gave Alba the most trouble in UK during their rivalry, but now they come over here and now they pair up quite nicely. But Kiana and Fallon just seem like, again, when they hit the ring, it works. Now, the only part I worry about is they put the titles in my opinion, a surprising choice. Now, Kia did pick it, that Kiana and Fallon would win at Vengeance Day, and she did call it correct, so bravo.
Thank you.
Exactly.
I said it.
But ultimately, I worry because it's like, you could have had Isla and Alba win against Caden and Katana, and it's a legitimate loss, yet you have them lose to Fallon and Kiana. Are they about to be paper champions? Was this just a holdover? And that's what I'm concerned about, because they're two very good talents holding gold that, maybe a lot of folks are feeling like they don't deserve right now, especially the fact that they can't get along with each other.
Right.
So now it comes down to, hey, it's put up or shut up, and you've got two women that, frankly, individually are better than the two of them together, but now you've got to face it as a team. They're going to have to find a way to put their shit aside and make it work.
Not the focus.
Honestly, I feel like Isla Dawn and Alba Fyre, they're gonna actually uncover whatever Kiana James is doing with one being
That's a good one. I like that.
With one being a witch and
truth serum.
With one being a witch and uncovering something, and then the other one will just beat it out of you with her baseball bat.
There you go.
That your teammate over here is doing this, but you need to know about it. And I feel like Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn are gonna confront them, and I feel like they're gonna be off their game to the point they will lose those titles. And I hate to say it, they're paper champions, and even though I pick them, I don't think they're gonna hold on to it long term. There's just too much discord. There's just too much friction. And when you have, Henley sitting here saying that Kiana is this, and this, and then she keeps seeing all the signs, it's how close are you gonna get before you actually figure it out? And then now you have I think, Briggs, who actually wants to know what's going on, and now he's noticed, hey, there's something not right about Kiana, but I don't want to say nothing.
All you're doing is pulling Brooks further in, because he's smitten at this point. And, can you blame him? Look at that. Plus, all those letters behind her name, she's making plenty of bank.
What is there to look at?
Okay, well, it's opinionated. Moving on.
Okay, but as far as that's concerned, I like these two teams, but I feel like this one team, I feel like they're paper champions, and I hate to say that, even though I picked them.
Well,
but
speaking of having to pick them now, I got a little 30 seconds here. Kia, you're up first on this one. Title change?
Yes, Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn. I feel like these two ladies are deserving. I feel like Alba Fyre has been here long enough
to be able to have a title. I feel like Isla will help, and the fact that you cannot separate these two, and these two now they've gotten on the same page and they have good chemistry. You need that in a champion. You need that as far as, hey, we work well together. There's no discord in and out of the ring. So yeah, Isla Dawn and Alba Fyre will take those titles off of Henley and Fallon, or Henley and Kiana.
Alyssa, same
I
thing.
like that too, yeah. Sorry. I feel like you being schemy and you doing underhanded stuff while also not having that background with your partner is going to catch you at some point, and I think these are the perfect two to go on and take it off of. So yeah, I like title change here.
Okay.
And I like
I'll play devil's advocate here, and I'm saying that very cautiously with the two of them, but I'm actually going to go with Fallon and Kiana to retain. And I'll probably be walking solo on this one, because I don't think the OTRAs are going to lean that way anyway. You might fool me. But just they seem to somehow keep finding a way. There's some teams who just manage to find a way. Daniel Bryan made a great 10-year career in WWE out of just finding a way. And sometimes it works. And the reality is, when it comes down to it, they've shown just enough chinks in the armor to where it's just not quite perfect yet. I'm not sitting here saying they won't become champs at some point, but also you just had Kiana escape the whole thing where you could have had the reveal. I feel like there's more to this story coming on, and it's going to take the truth finally coming from Kiana to hurt Briggs before it's going to finally end up happening. But I think keeping the gold on them works for now. It also eliminates that paper champion phase, because NXT normally doesn't do it. So we'll see what happens, but I'll be the one that's going to walk alone on this one. I'll take Kiana and Fallon to retain.
Okay.
That probably won't work, but we'll see. So Kia's going to shift back in here, so I'll head over to this side, and we move to our fourth match. And this one probably has your intense match of the weekend up to this point. I will give that to you. No?
No.
All right, my turn. But let me get the clock set up here. But this is the first ever North American Championship Open Challenge. And technically, I think it's the first challenge or open challenge of any championship ever at Stand and Deliver. But Wesley, after a number of successful open challenge retentions, finally getting an opportunity to handpick his 4 other opponents for this 5-way match. Ultimately, he went with Ilya Dragunov, JD McDonogh, and the newest addition to NXT, Japanese wrestling legend Dragon Lee. So we actually have 2 Lees in this match.
Oh, wow.
So I wonder who's getting a name change here soon.
And Axiom.
And then ultimately Axiom picking up the victory last night in the Battle Royal to earn the 5th and final spot. We have seen Wesley take on everyone on this board except for Dragon Lee, and each one of them was an instant classic. Wesley has done everything we've asked him to do. He was in the running for our Rookie of the Year this last year. He absolutely has, he slingshot himself to the top of, some of the most exciting people in all of NXT and WWE to watch, holding gold. But, he's got his fair share of challengers here, a couple of former champions on here, including a UK champ who has a win over Gunter.
Yeah.
That you can count on one hand the number of people who've beaten Gunter. So this isn't going to be easy for him. And again, the Fatal 5-Way rules as well is going to make this more of a challenge. So he's definitely chosen to have the work cut out for him, but that's how he wants it.
I like the fact that he's willing to take on all comers. That's what you want in a champion. You don't want someone who's going to have the title, have the championship, and then they don't want to do anything with it. You see a lot of times where you have title holders that don't want to defend, and I'm not going to name no names, but Wesley is one of those people that say, hey, the first to the ring can come face me, challenge me, whatever, and these 4 happen to be it. Now, when it comes to JD McDonogh, I'm scared of him. Like, he's a scary person.
But in a good way.
Don't let the fact that he is who he is, he scares me a little bit. I've never seen this guy, so I don't know what he has to bring to the table. As far as Ilya, he's probably the only person in my mind that has beaten Gunter. Now, if Steven, you want to correct me because you are a stats guy, you do keep information retained just like this. You can let me know if he's been the only one or if there's been more that has beaten Gunter. Him and who else?
Braun Breaker has a win right after Mania last year.
Yeah.
And
There was one more that beat him, when he was still Walter at the time, right after he dropped the title. But since he became Gunter, he's undefeated.
Yeah.
Possibly in question. Watch Top Rope spoilers for Mania, but continue.
Axiom, I feel like, I guess he's good competition. I'm not gonna even sit here and lie to you. I feel like if the title's gonna be taken off Wesley, it's going to be one of these two gentlemen right here, Ilya or McDonogh. So it is what it is, and we'll see my pick here in a few minutes.
Alyssa?
I too have not seen the other Lee yet, so I can't really speak on him. As far as JD McDonogh goes, we always say he's one of the... Stop looking at me like that before I say it. I'm trying to be good, okay? Take every ounce of self-control.
Run as fast
Shut
as you
up,
can.
Stephen.
If you know the reference, you know what we're talking about.
Exactly. Watch Top Rope spoilers. You'll get to see my guns. Okay, anyway, I'm just playing. But no, no. As far as he is concerned, we always like to say he has a great work ethic. And at some point, that work ethic, that receipt for all that training, all the everything that he does is going to get paid off.
Yes.
Wesley, I like Wesley. He's made a great transformation. I could say with 100% certainty I did not see him here before he got here, because y'all know the whole backstory. And then Ilya, boy, if anybody who could beat Gunter has a check in my book, because that man is big.
Yeah. Single hand.
Oh, I know. That man is big. I can't tell you how many chops he took, lowered. I felt that junk in my chest. And then Axiom always just manages to find his way into these big matches like at the last second. And I have nothing but respect for it.
Right time, right place.
Exactly. He works for it.
Well, he's determined that he wants to be the one that takes out Wesley. Again, we've seen all of them except for Dragon Lee. I've been blessed to be able to see him a couple of times, once in person and a couple of times on New Japan and whatnot. You're in for a treat. That's all I'm going to say. Keep your eyes open, but I also, when I say keep your eyes open, I also mean don't take your eyes off of him either, because you're going to miss something if you do. All I'm going to say before we get to our picks, because we're almost out of time for this one, can you imagine how many high-flying spots we're going to see in this match?
Oh my gosh. They're going to be in the air. We don't even need to be on the floor. Sorry.
The only thing missing from this one is this is not the ladder match.
Yeah.
That's literally the only thing missing out of this one. But oh my god, the number of high spots we're going to see, I will not be the least bit shocked if this doesn't open the card. And this will get the crowd in a frenzy.
Yeah.
In a hurry. But we move to our picks. Alyssa, we've circled back around to you starting things off. Where are you heading?
I'm stuck between two people. I'm struggling because I like Wesley to retain, but I also like JD McDonogh because I know the work he's been putting in. You know the work he's been putting in, but it's like, do I see it here? Oh God. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Wesley to retain. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Get something thrown at you.
You know, the thing about it is, this out of all the 7 matches that were on the card was the hardest one for me to pick as well.
They're all good.
I know, and I feel like, when Lee finally does lose, it's got to be one-on-one. He needs to lose legit. Don't have him drop the title.
No, not like this.
So as much as I wanted to go with my original pick before when we started, which was going to be Ilya Dragunov.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I'm also going to take Wes Lee to retain. Now, I think it would be sick for them to put Dragon Lee with a title after one match and go ahead and set that mystique and that material of, like, this guy came in and in one night he beat 4 of the best and won gold, on his first night here.
Sorry.
So I definitely could see that happening. But I like Wes retaining here as well.
Ooh, okay. Again, I don't know much about him. You said he's good. So we'll have to see. I know about Ilya. I know about him. He is a beast in the ring. The fact that you can go up against Gunter,
right,
red eyes and all, and beat the mess out of him.
I'm just ready to chant to the theme.
Beat the mess out of him. Y'all know I've pulled for Wesley for the longest time. I feel like he's a great champion. There's nothing that he would not do. In fact, he is a champion that will go up against all comers. But as far as this man right here, like I said, he scares me because hasn't he taken out like eyes or something, poked something through someone's eye? I don't know.
He's definitely been willing to do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
I feel like in this moment right now against the other four, I feel like he's going to do what needs to be done to actually take that title off of Wesley. So my pick is not Wesley as much as I love him. It is JD McDonogh.
You know, and if you recall, he won the Cruiserweight title a bunch of years ago at Worlds Collide in a 4-way match.
Exactly.
And I can tell you, he definitely was not the favorite in that match either.
Yeah.
So, you know,
But
that's the joy of it. This is a chance to start over, start anew.
Yep.
All right. Well, no belt needed for the next one. It's going to be all emotion and all feelings on this one because we move into our fifth one. I'm going to shift in here.
Oh, Schnickel Fritz.
But
Yeah, the rivalry and the feelings are gonna come out in this one as we see the grand return to NXT of Mr. NXT himself, Johnny Gargano, returning back to where he made his name legendary here in WWE, and also a chance to get a bit of revenge on the person who took him out for almost a full year from NXT and making a name for himself in Grayson Waller. Now, this is not no ordinary match because of Grayson taking it to the next step and choosing to attack Johnny in his home in front of poor Candace and their young one. Johnny says, okay, no, all bets are off now. And ultimately, he convinced Grayson Waller to sign this into an unsanctioned match. A simply put way to describe that is it basically means that neither of these two nor NXT can be held liable or legally responsible for anything they do to each other. At this point, the only thing will be is a referee who won't even be wearing a referee shirt standing in the ring, and that person's job is just to count the pinfall or submission. Anything else is fair game. This is going to be fun.
I feel like when you take it to a man's home and you take it to his wife and then you have his kid involved, y'all already know how I feel about that. Leave the family out of it. If you have a problem with Johnny Gargano, have the problem with him. Don't let it happen. You literally beat the mess out of him on his home turf, on the grass. Why would you do that? That to me is disrespectful, and it's disrespectful in all forms. In front of my wife, in front of my kid, and you're at my home, in my yard. So not only is my wife and kid seeing it, I feel like every other neighbor around is probably seeing it. I love Grayson Waller, I really do. But the fact that, first of all, not only do you have the right to disrespect Shawn Michaels, now you're disrespecting Johnny Gargano. And we've seen Johnny Gargano, him and Ciampa, have done some underhanded, messed up stuff. I feel like this being an unsanctioned match, yes, Grayson Waller, I'm going to say it. I don't feel like Grayson Waller is ready for Johnny Gargano. I feel like Johnny Gargano, as much as he was in the way and as much as he was nice and he was a leader and he was a role model and he was great, I feel like Johnny is going to go back to being Johnny of Ciampa and Johnny, where he's going to bring out that mean streak, that devilish side of him that says, you've pushed it too far, now I've got to end you. You tried to end me, but you did not keep me down. And if you're going to end me, you need to keep me down. And the fact that I'm back up,
That was your last mistake.
That was your last mistake.
Because you brought up a good point. This is not going to be Johnny's first unsanctioned match in NXT. Him and Tommaso Ciampa had a 45-minute classic going back to Stand and Deliver in New Orleans a bunch of years ago. And that got nasty and ugly in a very quick hurry, with Johnny ultimately going over. The 2 out of 3 Hell matches with Adam Cole back in the day. We know Johnny can go the distance, but Grayson's no slouch himself either, and has proven that he is capable of going up against the biggest guns. I mean, he called out Shawn Michaels, for a match, and ultimately that's not who he got, but he got the next best thing. Alyssa, step in.
Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and start with this. Thank y'all to whoever updated this man's render, because Lord, that old one was not it. Back to for real though.
I'm a fan of the Rick Boogs-esque stash. I like it.
No.
I don't know about all that.
But, continue on.
No, but I feel like he always barks up the wrong tree.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get it. You want to make yourself relevant. You want to make yourself the big star of NXT. That's cool. I admire your drive. But, you on the wrong road, bud. Sorry. You took it to his house. You put his family in it. You don't do that. You call him out at the show. You be like, hey, whatever, slap, you know. I don't know what clicked in his mind to be like, yes, let me go to his house and fight him in front of his child and his wife. Yes, let's go.
She comes with sound effects.
I'm
She's not just
sorry?
knowledgeable, people.
Like, I don't know what made him feel okay with that.
I wouldn't.
Even I would have whooped him. Show it to my house.
It's a wonder Candace
Please.
didn't get involved.
Please, show it to my house with my baby.
You've had some women beat other people with a baby in their arms.
Literally. I will use this baby to fight you. Don't play with me.
Have you seen the grandmothers in
Thank
the day?
you.
Okay.
See how hard she's taking that? I like it.
Like, no. You need to be for real. So, yeah. So, there's that. I've never seen an unsanctioned match. I've only heard things about it. I'm excited.
Well, again, I mean, the idea of no holds barred is the closest description you can get. But the idea behind a no holds barred match is you have to know when to stop, because if you go over the line, you can still be held legally responsible for paying their medical bills or paying their, paying for therapy or rehab or whatever if you go a step too far. Unsanctioned means all bets are off. Johnny will only pay for Johnny's injuries. Grayson will only pay for Grayson's injuries. And NXT ain't paying for shit. So that's a simple way to put it. I am not responsible for what I do with you. If I snap every bone in your body, you will figure out how to somehow reach your wallet and pay for it.
Best of luck to you.
Good luck.
First of all, can we say something about this man is too happy for his render?
And he looks scary.
Johnny looks
And
ready now.
Johnny looks like I'm about to
He's
take.
about to come through this thing, pull him out this thing, beat him right here, put him back in this thing, then take him to the actual show and whoop his ass there too.
Which means with,
Okay.
about 40 seconds to go here, I truly don't think we're going to need long here.
No.
I'm opening this one. It's Johnny all the way. I mean, he is Mr. NXT for a reason. He came back for this reason. Grayson, as you pointed out, he effed with the wrong person here. And Johnny is not the same Johnny that he was, years ago. But I argue that he's better Johnny now than he was then, with not just the main roster experience, but also you've got a wife and child that you brought into this. You stepped in the wrong path, and when it was just me, fine, we'll settle it between you and me. You bring my wife and my child and my home into it, that's a whole nother set. This is Johnny, and this is going to get ugly.
He done stepped in it now, as Donna Tubbs would have said.
Kia?
I'm not gonna lie. I love Grayson Waller. I would have picked him against anybody else. Maybe not against Shawn Michaels if that
Boot and all.
No. That
my stomach
that, I'm gonna pick Johnny G. I feel like he has only gotten better with time, and also, again, like I said, you have to think who he is and what he does. You came back to NXT to whoop him good, as Joe would say.
Alyssa?
I'm just kidding. It's not even close. I think he'll do good at first.
Yeah.
I think he'll start real strong. Let me give you that. I think he'll start real strong. He'll start putting himself into it mentally. He's going to get clothesline, boom, knocked in next week. And then he's going to get his ass handed to him. It's going to be right there on the platter. Here you go. Good luck to you. Hope you made enough. Hope you've been saving enough. All these trees you've been barking up. Hope your social media influence now got you something good, because you're going to need it. Good night and goodbye. Johnny Gargano.
Straightforward and to the point.
Love it.
2 to go. Who's on camera here? Because I
Yeah.
can take over. All right, so we'll let her step in here. 2 to go, and it's our 2 co-main events, 2 championship matches. We open with a ladder match for the NXT Women's Championship. And this one got a little more interesting because of, the different circumstances behind what happened in this one. Alyssa, if you'll grab the belt.
So, long story short, Roxanne retains over Satomura, manages to somehow have what was viewed as an anxiety attack, passes out, everyone's scared for the little sweetheart, our champion. She isn't formally stripped of the title, but for all intents and purposes, it's like Sean's like, look, I've got to have a title match for the women at Stand and Deliver. So you ended up having qualifying matches. Ultimately, Zoe Stark and Gigi Dolan, formerly of Toxic Attraction, who is no longer the faction. We're going to start copywriting that now. Getting in there. Ultimately, Lyra, Valkyria, and Tiffany Stratton getting in. And then Indy Hartwell last night on NXT, getting herself in as the second chance qualifier, but then to the shock of everyone, or maybe no one, not me, Roxanne returning, saying, I'm cleared. I will give you every piece of medical help I can give you, but I don't want to lose a title I fought hard for. I handed Satomura, who, you again, can count on two hands over 25 years how many people Satomura's lost to. So Roxanne to get a clean victory, regardless of the circumstances, is impressive. But she's like, do not make me lose the title this way. Yeah. And Sean reluctantly added her in, so now you end up 6 women, add in a ladder, first one to climb it takes the gold. Who's going?
Okay, first of all, I love Roxanne. She's great.
The render's fantastic.
But as far as Indy, y'all know how much I'm a big fan of hers. She's now got that confidence, that strut.
If only there was an adjective to describe her.
All the pretty girls walk like this. And the fact that she has gained that confidence that she did not have in the beginning, it only makes her that much better. As far as Tiffany Stratton, she's full of herself. She's arrogant. She thinks she is better than everybody else because she has certain clothes, certain designers, and everything.
So a perfect heel.
Yeah. When it comes to Zoe Stark, she's great, but I don't see her being the one to take that title off of Roxanne, at least not right now. I don't feel like she's ready. If anything, I believe she would be called up to the main roster before that happens. When it comes to Lyra, she just got here, so I don't feel like she's ready to hold the title either. I love her. She's great. She reminds me of Valhalla, the way they're just all naturey and they love it and it's so forth, and they're dark. Exactly. Now, my girl Gigi, she has gone through the ringer. She has been part of Toxic Attraction, but the fact that her partner has turned on her and, did what she did, has put her through a door, has and that
disrespectfully put her through a door.
That was very disrespectful. I feel like she embodies who I am. Nobody believed in her. Nobody respected her. And then the fact that she has not had that respect of who she is makes me believe. I feel like she could be a possible winner in this. But again, I don't know. Roxanne has worked hard, has done everything she's supposed to do. She has come back, given every form of medical paperwork. And I feel like I don't see the title being stripped from her, but on the other hand, I kind of could see it. Depends on if it's just she was able to come back long enough to actually defend her title.
Okay. I'll make this one quick. I like Indy. Again, we're seeing that evolution in her that we've been talking about, that we've been needing to see from her. Girl is going off. I like it. It's impressive.
There you go.
As far as Tiffany goes, I have to remember, I have to make it objective in my head. Like, that's who she's supposed to be. I'm not the biggest fan, personally, but, hey, you're doing good at your job. Gigi, I like Gigi. Gigi's growing up, She's gone from being in her, I'm the attraction, to being, okay, I'm gonna come here and whip your behind, because no. Put some respect on it. Zoe, I feel like I don't know Zoe that well, and I'm okay with it. No disrespect, but yeah, I don't know. And then Lyra, again, same thing. I don't really know much about her. I've watched her in her matches. They've been good. I enjoy it. Roxanne, love Roxanne. Rookie of the Year, wonderful. Yeah.
So we're looking for the sophomore performance here. Yeah. You've left me with 6 seconds to talk.
Much love to you, Blake.
But it's okay. I mean, the love for all 6 of these women. These have done fantastic storylines, each one. Lyra has come in and has done fantastic work since coming over from UK. We all know Gigi's storyline. Tiffany has become absolutely the top heel. Zoe has done a good job of shifting over to heel as well.
Yeah.
And then you feel like you've got the 2 mega fan favorites in both Roxanne Perez and Indy Hartwell who could do this one. Add in the ladder match stipulation. Is it going to be a situation where Roxanne's going to be close and then she's going to collapse or something underneath her own anxiety again? Is she mentally ready? And that's really all it comes down to, because who's opening this one? We're on the 6th match, so it would be Kia, actually.
All right. So before we go any further, I want to give credit to, I think her name is Yvette Boss, the song that I was singing. because I don't want any copyright infringement.
Thank you.
LOL.
Okay. So for me, as much as I love Roxanne, I believe she's great. I feel like what Steven said, I'm going to piggyback off that. I feel like her anxiety will probably get the best of her, and I don't like saying that. But as far as her being to have the title taken off of her, I feel like Gigi is ready. I feel like she was under the tutelage of Mandy Rose, and that is the best person to work with who has come a long way. She's not here now, but I feel like Mandy has given her all the experience, all this, has talked to her, and has given her that self-confidence. So I feel like she is my pick to take the title off of
Gigi's moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, her first goal was won in a ladder match.
Yeah. So I feel like she is the one to take the title off of Roxanne Perez. Sorry, Roxanne.
Alyssa?
I like Roxanne too. I think she's done really good, but I've been picking Indy, and she's been coming real close every time. I think it's gonna be a similar thing to Seth here. I'm just gonna ride
that horse till it dies.
I like well no, because I feel like she's gonna get called up hard. We're gonna go with bump it. We're gonna go Indy.
Indy Hartwell?
Yeah, we're gonna go Indy.
I like it. I like the surprise, and definitely I tell you
It's
one
ballsy.
thing. NXT Universe will blow their mind if Indy pulls this off.
I like it.
I will say up until the moment that Roxanne came back last night on NXT, I was going Lyra Valkyria the whole way. I think that it gives you a new dynamic, it gives you a new change-up, and everything else. But then the return of Roxanne, it seems like she's just the fan favorite. You don't want to see her lose the title, yet at the same time, they're going to build her into a storyline where it's like you don't want to drop the title, but I also feel like she wasn't supposed to get the title this soon in the first place because of the situation with Mandy Rose. So they've had to try to find a way to make her look good and also make her look like a legitimate champion without making her just immediately take a loss right off the bat. But I do see that I think a match of this caliber against this level of talent is going to be too much for Roxanne. I do feel like something's going to happen in this match. Whether it's anxiety, whether it's the competitors, whether it's Cora, who has been surprisingly absent in the last couple of months. And maybe this is where she makes her move, an opportunity to cost her the title. But unfortunately, I'm going to go out on the limb and say it here, but you stole my thunder.
Sorry.
Indy effing Hartwell. It is time. There's a reason you haven't been called up yet.
Yeah.
And it's for this moment. She's the one who goes up there. Maybe she's the beneficiary of Roxy not being able to do so. You're already seeing them kind of back and forth at each other on Twitter a little bit. Don't faint. Don't moonsault. So it's gonna be different here. But I feel like you get your big blow up moment here. This is where you're gonna have a ton of fun with this one. Indy Hartwell walks out with the women's title. I like it.
Don't moonsault.
Don't moonsault.
That's a good one. I like it.
Grief.
All right, come on, y'all. One last time.
Yep, one more for all of the gold here, and it's the one we've all been asking for months.
No, you got that.
Me? Okay,
Yes, sir.
I like it. But let's get to the main event, which is for the NXT Championship, and that is him, Carmelo Hayes. He shoots and he don't miss. Finally getting his one-on-one shot at the NXT Championship as he battles the nearly year-long reign of Braun Breaker for the title. These, as they've stated each other, and there's been a very good line of respect, a very good line of mutual feeling on this, that we have been the two big dogs in NXT, but we have been going on a parallel path to each other. You've been handling your business, I've been handling my business. But it's time for this to finally happen.
Yeah.
And what better stage? LA, 20+ thousand people inside crypto. Wrestlemania weekend. This is where it was meant to happen.
Absolutely.
This is where it's gonna happen. These are the two best, and I don't think there's much debate.
Yeah. Don't you say it. I can feel it. I can feel it coming. Don't you say it.
I'm not.
Don't you
Really?
say
You
it.
can't even let him have the main event of.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything about anything.
I saw it on your face. It was coming.
Anyway, I feel like Braun has held this title right here. He's done it proud. He's literally taken on all comers. He's, I feel like his evolution has been one of the greatest to see. where he has had to fight. He's had to overcome who he was. He had to overcome, all the emotions and say, hey, I'm making myself proud. I'm making my father proud. I'm going to make everyone that actually wants me to hold this title. I'm going to make them proud. I'm going to do what I need to do to hold on to that title. And yes, him and Carmelo have been on parallel paths, but in all retrospect, I feel like, for me, I love Braun Breaker. I really do. He's a great competitor. He's a great champion, and I don't see anything different. Now, Carmelo, and no disrespect, he has been one of the best. Him and Braun have been one of the best on the show. And the fact that, like you said, Steve, he's done his job. They've been on parallel paths. And at this present time and moment, I feel like, for me, there's a strong possibility that he gets it done. I don't feel like he's ready for the main roster. I don't feel like he's ready at all. But like Braun, I feel like he's ready. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it to Alyssa.
These two have continued to be my favorite too since they got here. It's been very clear that the two of them are going to be the best two that came out of, the new regime and all that. You have people like Grayson Waller that want to be it. They are it. It's not even close. I'm so sorry. That he has to go out and try and be relevant. They are just relevant. I'm sorry. It had to be said.
There's a tier level.
Yeah, there is.
These two are in the tier up at the top by themselves.
They are in the tier. Y'all know I've been a big proponent of Braun's evolution. I always love the comments on it. That's always my first line of defense when I go to pick this man. On the other side, you have Carmelo Hayes. He calls his shots and he don't miss. He wrote in his book and it came true.
Apollo didn't do that.
Apollo couldn't even do that. Come on now. So, yeah, I'll go ahead and pass it.
I'm just going to make one notation here. No Trick Williams in this photo.
I know.
He's leaving Trick in the back. He may still
like
be
it.
there in person, but even the respect factor between the two is even stating that, look, no, if I'm going to beat you, it's going to be one-on-one.
Yeah.
I'm not, if I am truly going to be defined as the next great champion, and this is going to be the next great rivalry. We've seen so many over our years in NXT. This is Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano. This is Sami Zayn and Neville going way on back.
Yeah.
And then more recently, this is like Adam Cole and Gargano when they were having their rivalries and back and forth against each other. This is the next evolution of the next great folks to come out of NXT. And you're right, Breaker, who's had a little bit of time on the main roster already, went back down to NXT to continue to run through, and run NXT as its champion. But it does feel like, there needs to be a new guy running the show, and it seems like the perfect coronation moment for it to happen. So, no trick, no tricks, whatever you want to call it. Just as Big E would say, two big men slapping meat, meaty men slapping meat. But the fact is, we've been screaming for this for nearly a year, and it's finally here. This right here, every other match we've talked about has been great on the card, but the price of admission is for this match.
Yeah.
Alyssa picks, bring us home.
All right, so I think I'm going to have to go with Carmelo here. I feel like Braun is ready to go up. He's ready to go run through some competition up there. Melo is ready to find his place and run the NXT division. I like Melo here.
I think my shirt kind of gives this one away, and you pointed it out when he shoots.
Melo don't miss.
He just don't miss. Breaker has been everything you've wanted in an NXT champion.
Absolutely.
But I think his legacy is set in NXT. He goes down as one of, if not by some people's arguments, maybe the best NXT champion that we've had up to this point because of the level of competition and the new regime that has stepped in to face him. But you are correct. He is ready for main roster, which means it's time to hand the NXT championship to the next guy who is ready to run this division and ready to run this brand. And, I don't think there's been much debate to anyone. It's been Carmelo Hayes that has been the guy lined up to be the next big gun in NXT. Here's where it happens. This will be what everyone's talking about heading into night one later that night. Night one is going to absolutely have its work cut out for it because we're going to be talking about this one.
but I agree. New champion, Carmelo Hayes.
Okay, so with all that being said, we're going to just make it easy. I'm just going to go with Carmelo. I haven't liked him, but I mean, as much
You should
as
see the look on her face because I'm not sure you've ever picked Carmelo.
as much as I haven't liked him, he is one of the best, and you want the best holding this title right here. And again, Braun has done that title justice. He's made everyone proud, but I feel like he's ready for the main roster, and I feel like the main roster is ready for him. So if you want the next best thing to hold this title, it's going to be Carmelo.
So title change across the board. And I'll tell you one thing, with Breaker being the champion, I'm not sure that's happened since he became the title holder, not since we've been running things. I mean, Breaker has been exactly what you've asked as champion. But this is his moment. Him is ready to become the next big gun. But with that, that brings us to an end of our first of 2 top rope spoilers. Let me get that last little slide up here for you here. But ultimately, we are looking forward to a fantastic WrestleMania weekend. Top rope spoilers for WrestleMania is coming up a little bit later, so be on the lookout for that. We've got a ton of matches for that, and we will try not to run as long, but we know we will. This is On the Ring Apron. This was top rope spoilers for Stand and Deliver. It's WrestleMania weekend. I'm looking forward to it. We're getting the last little bit of work out of the way because it's time for some fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every competitor across the board, I feel like, will stand and deliver.
Period.
So I feel like I'm excited. NXT is going to be a sold out show. I don't care if every other thing across the board, WrestleMania and everything else. I feel like this is always the best show of the week. So
it's back to making this the show of the weekend.
Yeah, and it's going to happen. All the matches across the board. I'm ready. It's exciting, and I cannot wait.
Alyssa, final thoughts?
I'm just ready. I'm excited. Let's do this.
Watch for us on Mania. Put your picks in on Community. And we'll catch you later on.
Bye.